through online tournaments, like compared to their offline results.
Oh, well.
Like, Bly must have like the most comfortable chair in the world in wherever he lives that he's just like wrecks everybody.
Or a really nice second monitor. But, hype. But, yeah, so it's spawning in the top right of Inferno Pool. So what a crazy first map to start off the series. We do have Acer Bly.
In the top left position, his opponent, also from Acer, he's in red, he's Nerchio.
But yeah, talking about like offline results or online results being very good. So both these guys do very well in online cups, weekly cups and all that. But Nerchio, I remember for a long time, was quite suspect to the community and all his comrades in like pro gamers. They all thought, man, this guy, he's too good. Like, he makes all the right reads all the time. He cannot be playing so legit. But then he went to Home Story Cup and like did really well. Like, he won a Home Story Cup, 4-0ing Yonghua, I think, in the final, who was like one of the best protesters at the time.
Oh, I remember that. There was that one sick game he played on Ohana, I think it was, when he like used the drone surround to save his hatchery from DTs.
He used so he brought back the minerals, then held position and knocked out the DT. So yeah, Nerchio was just like ahead of his time, and like he absolutely proved everybody wrong that no, he was not a cheat, and he just plays absolutely solid. And then he went and did very well at an IEM, I believe, where he came second to MVP. I think that happened. In fact, I think I played him in the group stage of that tournament. So
these guys are having a really interesting conversation.
Yeah, a little bit of shit talk going on. So Bly saying his hands are sweaty, and then Nerchio saying, well, mine aren't. I have the hands of a professional gamer, man. So a little bit of talk going on.
People out there with sweaty hands resent that statement.
Well, Nerchio, I am in wrecked mood.
Can you tell these guys probably play each other all the time? You are going to get wrecked. Well, that confidence.
I like this, and like they're both going. Or Bly went for gas first, then pool, I believe, because his gas is so high that he's going to have speed very soon.
Nerchio took his gas a little bit later, so the speed starts up faster for Bly. The real question is, well, Bly stopped mining gas, so we might not see a Baneling push, but once both players realize that it's close spawns, I think that's generally when they're like, oh, we're going to play one of these games.
Well, they both do know it's close spawn.
I'm surprised they didn't veto this map. Like, I feel like this is one of the most heavily vetoed maps in basically everything lately. Don't you think?
I mean, I've played it once, I believe, and I played it in a show match, but like I just don't like it. I don't like the randomness of the spawns. I don't like the randomness of the positions.
The close positions just make things really, really crazy with how close the naturals are.
Yeah, you can have close positions. Like, where do you take a fourth in this situation? You have that gold base in between you guys here. Nerchio is going to be scouting. Ooh. Oh, nice block by Bly.
He almost got him. That would have been really cool.
He's mainly just trying to deny scouting here, though. Like trying to.
He doesn't want him to know what he's up to.
For sure, he doesn't. Both getting speed. Like, Nerchio's economy is a little bit better. He's got quite a few more drones, but Bly, a good few lings on the field. He is catching up in drones now.
Ooh, he's going for that Baneling nest.
Yes, he is, Nathanius.
You know, but this also comes down to him not knowing 100% what Bly is doing, because if he knew that Bly wasn't getting a Baneling nest, then maybe he wouldn't feel so pressured to get one of his own, like, unless he thought he was being speedling all in. But speed finishes first for Bly, so Nerchio is a little bit... You know, he's playing this one a little bit cautiously now. He doesn't have that many units to actually deal with this.
No, Bly does have more army supply on the field right now. And is he doing damage with this? No, but he is forcing his opponent to make lings here, which does Nerchio really want to be doing? In fact, it looks like he will be wanting to do, because he has that Baneling nest up, whereas his opponent doesn't. Bly has a lot of money here to spend, does make 12 lings and a Roach Warren all at once.
A Roach Warren.
So maybe he's anticipating the... In fact, will that even be early enough to stop these Banelings and such? I don't believe so.
I'm not... I mean, does he actually have lings, though, on the other side of the map? These are defensive Banelings, right? Because he never got to scout what Bly was doing, so it was hard for him to know if Bly ever started to build drones. And, well, we can see, and this Overlord for Nerchio sees that Bly is, in fact, still building a hell of a lot of lings. And soon we'll be mixing in some roaches. But he does... Okay, close with that Baneling.
Yeah, not too bad by Bly, actually. He only lost 3 lings in that encounter there. So nice little bit of a victory for him.
And then some lings just doing battle. It's always a weird fight to take when you don't have any Banelings, because you have to basically be able to look at it and eyeball that you know you have more, that your position is good enough that doesght matter.
So here, defends with... In fact, is he going to be able to defend with enough lings?
I mean, losing the queen definitely hurts quite a bit. The counterattack going across, Bly actually mineral walks his drones through, and the 2 queens parked on the ramp just allows him to be so much more cost-effective, because now it's giving him time for his roaches to pop out, and even if he loses the queens, I mean, he might lose 2. Okay, well, he definitely... You know, he was okay with it then, but that made it a little bit trickier. He still has some lings running on the other side of the map, but Bly is just now starting up that baneling nest. Nerchio has quite a bit of gas, so he can turn his lings that he has now into banelings and try to get a few more drones, or... Like, I don't think a counterattack is going to work when your opponent has roaches. Like, banelings aren't going to cut it.
Well, Bly looks like he's going to be going for a massive all-in here. He's going to use the roaches just to be his solid like backbone of his army. Then he's going to use banelings to counter his opponent. The only thing that Nerchio can really kill these roaches with, like efficiently with banelings on the field, is spine crawlers or roaches of his own, which, you know, like right now I think I'm liking Bly's position here.
Yeah, I just like the stability that the roaches give him, but Bly is still committing to a massive push. Nerchio is the one that squeezed out some drones. You know, he's trying to at least keep tabs on the army location of Bly, going for these counterattacks. The baneling, that was
heart attack central right there.
Almost just lost it there to Muslim. Still a pretty good connection from that baneling, getting quite a few lings, and that will allow him to shut this down. Now this makes defending much more of an issue for Nerchio. He can't afford to trade away too much. He bought some time, but you know, losing the queen earlier on, he doesn't actually have a transfuse for this spine crawler. It just blows up the banelings on him, so that dies really quickly. Gets a great hit on the lings, and it looks like Bly. Ah man, he's with these roaches in his base. Like, I just don't see how he's gonna be able to stop this with the reinforcement flood of lings coming across the map. And now the banelings and the drones.
Yeah, these banelings, and if they get on creep, they will outrun those drones by just enough to catch them. Looks like there will be... Oh, nice splitting by Nerchio, but these banelings getting in huge hits here. Drones all in the corner, and Nerchio calls GG. Bly takes game 1.
Wow, who is in the mood to wreck now?
Who is in the mood to wreck? I think Bly is in the mood to wreck, and I won't be surprised if a hashtag Bly on fire comes out after map 1.
Yeah, well, Nerchio was the one that called him out that game. Bly won that game with sweaty hands.
Yeah.
But and like, Nerchio was in the mood to wreck someone, so...
Nerchio has the hands of a professional gamer, and he still lost against the guy with sweaty hands.
Shocking developments here at the Fragmite Masters StarCraft qualifiers.
We have seen guys with sweaty hands, like famously sweaty hands, such as Gumiho, the Towel Terran.
He's an inspiration to us all.
An inspiration to all those with sweaty hands, because he is still very, very good.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Gumiho, when he actually plays StarCraft, has a towel on top of his mouse and plays like that because his hands get so sweaty. Kind of odd, actually. Yeah. It's kind of amazing that he plays as well as he does while holding a towel.
You could just have some like really sick anxiety. I don't know. StarCraft is a pretty stressful game. I guess people handle it in their own ways.
Yeah, I mean, like, I've read up on conditions of people sweating from like their hands and feet, like the actual palms and stuff, like excessive amount. So like maybe Gumiho has that.
Perhaps.
I don't know.
Perhaps.
Maybe it's just a little bit of anxiety, but maybe he's just freaking oozing water from his hands every time he plays, man.
He actually came from the ocean. He's just used
to, the merman.
It's the circulation, man. We haven't really studied merman anatomy too well to be 100% certain.
Expedition Lost will be our second map of the series.
These guys just wanted to play on like the smallest map, or like I guess.
Well,
okay, so Infernal Pools didn't have to be the smallest map, even though it ended up being the smallest map.
Right.
But Expedition Lost is pretty much like, rush distance-wise, it feels to me like we're basically going to that short, aggressive game. With these two, I don't know. I expect there's been too much trash talk for this to be like a long, drawn-out macro game. Someone's got to cheese someone.
With these two players, or... You know when you put Bly in a series, the series automatically is not going to be a normal series.
Yeah, it just gets weird.
Just because of the way that he plays. He's so aggressive. I never play on Inferno Pools. Stupid map. You know, that's an excuse I'd use too if I was Nerchio.
You scout me first. It's like, I know.
I
know. But you're blind.
Insta. I love how these two talk.
Man, I mean, they're just saving us the job of commentating the game.
Yeah, I mean, like... This, you know what? StarCraft's taught me like how to be so understanding of like different cultures and stuff.
What do you mean?
Like
hashtag Blind Fire came out.
Now, if I was Nerchio And Bly actually said hashtag Bly on fire at me after beating me on game 1.
Is Bly like, is that karma though? In $25 tournaments, yes. So he's like, this tournament matters a little bit more. So there's like $10,000 on the line here.
Show me some love, bro.
Oh, does he want to? I'm on. Oh, what? This is. I'm not sure how that's necessarily relevant.
Nerchio's very good at CS:GO.
Yeah, but I don't see how that's.
I mean,
it's like you're in a sword fight with someone. And the other guy's like, I'm really good with a bow and arrow. It's like, hey man, you've got a sword in your hands. It doesn't matter how good you are with something else.
I mean, I can't playing too much online cups. Well, you know, your recent statistics of online cups kind of prove that statement completely wrong, Bly. Yeah, okay. He's making fun.
I don't even.
He's being a tard.
I don't even know what's happening. This is just a fun bit of banter. We don't get to see this enough in StarCraft.
Well, yeah, you know when teammates play against each other and they're both taking like. You don't get this when you see two Team Liquid guys play against each other because it's all like very, very serious.
Yeah, it's like.
But you know, if you see Marine Lord play against Lilbo, you'll see some shit talk going on there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen your games versus Idra. I know, in the old days.
You know, that was like I thought it was shit talk, like and fun, but
but it's like
apparently not.
You know, you thought you were you thought you were just being like a little bit flirty, but she thought you were asking her to marry you. That sort of thing.
I mean, yeah, I didn't really realize what was happening.
That just escalated way faster than you were anticipating.
Yeah, in my eyes, we were doing the waltz, and like next minute, I was getting thrown out the window. You know, like yeah, it was a very odd story. But here we have these guys going for like pretty much exact builds. Both got pretty near enough the same amount of gas.
They're
same
basically
amount of
doing the same thing.
Yeah, which is nice.
It's not necessarily aggressive out of either player just yet. We have to see how much more gas they want to mine. Of course, always nice. The one thing that's different about this map is that the scouting is significantly easier since there's only 2 places you can spawn. Is he actually getting some work done with these 2 lings? He's forced the spore to be built. He's allayed some drones.
Oh no!
Did he kill? Oh. Well, that would just put me on life tilt if I was Nerchio.
He's saying Bly on fire at me. He's killing my drones. Getting so mad. So Bly will take an early drone lead. He's making a lot of drones here. A lot of extra drones on top of his opponent.
He's just droning hard right now. And Nerchio, he starts the Baneling nest, considering that he lost that earlier drone and then the Baneling nest, so 2 workers down essentially. So yeah, that's a nice spot to be in for Bly as long as he doesn't actually take damage, or critical damage, I should say, from any type of Baneling push that Nerchio could make when his speed's done. Like, for the most part, I guess I like Bly's position. Now Bly is starting to put out a crazy amount of lings, though. So maybe Nerchio doesn't need to actually attack. He could just make some Banelings.
Like, having a lot of speedlings is all good and stuff, and like if you can deal damage, then cool. He's saving them. He's getting a Roach for him now. Wow, is this just how Bly plays EVZ? So, I mean, these lings will be scouted now, so Nerchio knows what he's up against.
He's getting the Roach Warren, so what's he going to make? 6 Roaches and then a Baneling Nest after again?
I think so. Like, if this is just Bly's style in ZVZ, that, hey, I like to get quite a few speedlings, then I like to get a Roach Warren pretty early. There are Banelings on the field, though, so...
Yeah, it only takes 1 good Baneling here to turn the tide, and with 4 Banelings sitting on top of this pretty small ramp for Nerchio, I don't feel like Bly should be able to break this. Even Nerchio's he's like, yeah, you can't touch me, I'm going to get a lair.
Wow. So, yeah, a very early lair here for Nerchio.
If Nerchio gets away with this thing, he's in a fantastic position, but it doesn't look like Bly is going to let up anytime soon. He's still building roaches.
Getting that Baneling nest as well, so it does look like Bly will be going for that build that similar build to last game.
I mean, Bly's basically doing close to the same thing they did in the last game with the
2 base Roach Bane all in.
Yeah, the lings into the roaches, and then the Banelings afterwards. But Nerchio slips in, he kills a drone, 2 drones, 3 drones, going up to 4 now, so... Actually, he's still quite a bit of pain.
Those Banelings were like, man, blowing up on these Roaches sounds like the best idea right now. They did it. It was the worst idea ever. But, like, what's going on at home? So 3 Spine Crawlers in production right now, already 1 made.
Yeah, with 2 of them finishing up soon.
Man,
it's doable. The Roaches are slow.
I still like this for Bly, though. I mean, he's producing so many lings. Roach Warren now goes up for Nerchio. He cancelled his lair that he was producing.
Yeah, if he can get the Banes up to the spines before they're targeted down and then detonate on some lings as well, then I guess this is pretty doable. The roaches, as long as he gets rid of the spines and he still has most of his roaches intact, I think keeping these queens in a good position to get transfused is like really, really important in this moment in the game. But, wow, a great Baneling trade from Nerchio, actually detonating only a couple for most of the Banelings that Bly had, and Bly's having a really hard time breaking up this ramp.
Wow, sick hold by Nerchio. Used his Banelings.
Yeah, that Bane trade was gnarly, and yeah, Bly can't break this.
No, that was a very, very good trading by Nerchio there. He's got a 10 drone lead with this as well. He's producing a lot of lings. He's already got enough Banelings to deal with the lings and Banelings of his opponent here. Doesn't want to lose. Oh, these Banelings, these Banelings.
More Bane trades, perhaps.
Crikey. But all the roaches are dead now, and now Nerchio's got a pretty decent supply lead.
He has nothing to break through this with.
Oof. Man, carnage, carnage. Here, loading up a few extra Banes there.
So, it's important to note that Nerchio has just once again restarted his lair. He canceled it earlier on to be able to afford the defense that he made. So, he's not actually ahead in tech yet. Like, yeah, his lair is still technically faster again now, but...
His economy's far, far ahead, though.
Yeah. The drone count is pretty insane.
Like, having an 11 drone lead in ZEC,
yeah, he just droned during that whole fight, basically.
Yeah, and he's the guy that's got, like, spine crawlers up defensively, too, so he doesn't have to worry. I mean, that's still quite a lot of lings for Bly, but there are Banelings still on the field for Nerchio, so... Will he be able to deal damage? I mean, he has to.
He's just gonna run up there, run up here and kill it. He gets on top of one of the spines, but then there's the Baneling, and he doesn't have quite what he needs to actually kill that.
Every time you semi-commit in a fight like this and you don't actually kill either of those spines, it's a fight that you're losing. You're behind on drones. You're behind. Well, you're going to be behind on tech pretty soon. I mean, it's inevitable. In fact, Bly is going to take a drone lead here with those 7 drones in production, but.
I mean, with how long it's taken him to actually get up to this drone count, I feel like Nerchio's drones have already paid off. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's been mining with 40 drones for the last few minutes, or like the last minute or two, whereas Bly has only just hit that number. So even though he's a little bit ahead in drones, like he hasn't had anywhere near as much time for them to pay for themselves yet.
So Bly actually killed those rocks there outside of Nerchio's base, making it... Oh, the one ling for Baneling trade, always good. But he killed those rocks, delaying the path for these roaches to get to his own base. And now he's trying to buy time while getting a spire. So, pretty nifty play by Bly here if he can get this working. And Nerchio's the guy that has a lot of gas, though.
Yeah, well... It's interesting that it's actually really interesting that the player that's going for the spire doesn't have the gas bank, and the one that isn't does.
He did produce a Hydralisk then, though.
Yeah, still costs more minerals than gas, so he's gonna. It's the way you balance how that spending gets tricky. Lings catch more roaches in the center of the map. Don't believe there are any upgrades for Nerchio's roaches just yet. He's waiting for that +1. So the lings are still, you know, it's actually not. You know, you can trade them pretty well. Now, it's not going to be fantastic just because of the way that the melee works with the clumped up roaches, but.
Bly's got enough roaches to defend himself, especially with that spine crawl at the top of the ramp there. And his spire is soon to be done. Like, do you think Bly's just going to go for roughly like 6 to 8 neuters just to buy time while setting up his... In fact, he's already got a third. Totally missed that on the minimap there.
Yeah, I'm thinking that third location is just so important for him because you have like this really, really... Well, I mean, it's a really big problem he doesn't have the third base because the lings for Bly have been sitting on the third that Nerchio wanted to take for quite some time now. And if you don't have your third base, what are you going to do? Because now the Mutalisks are never going to let you get that up because how are you going to get a Spore Crawler there? If you keep all your Hydras at the third base, then these Roaches can work on the back. You know, there's so many different ways that he can start to harass and attack him that I feel like this game just progressively gets more and more awkward for Nerchio.
That was the loneliest Hydra I have ever seen. 14 drones in production all at once for Bly here. And I mean, I don't think he expected Hydras half.
Oh! Okay, what do you... Ouch.
Whoa, those were not Top Gun Mutalisks right there. They just flew right into those Hydras, losing 4 of them.
Those were just your generic pilots.
Generic pilots. Those are suicide bombers.
Those are just like your random Star Wars pilots that don't know how to do anything and just die instantly.
Yeah, those guys actually suck in the movies.
Yeah, they're all pretty horrible.
But here, getting supply blocked pretty heavily. Not getting Overlord speed here, he's getting Overlord transport.
That's
like,
gotta
drops?
be a mistake.
It certainly is.
Slow is he's gonna slow Overlord drop.
And Nerchio, despite only being, in fact, despite only, he's 30 supply ahead here. He's also 20 drones-ish behind, so his army supply, 40 supply ahead. Like, he's really hammering on Bly here with mistakes. Like, that Overlord drop
as
there.
nice as it was to have that third base set up earlier, like, he didn't have, like, the Mutalisks throwing them away. Like, only 3 Mutas isn't actually going to threaten the main base of Nerchio long enough that he can actually do something there. I will say that Nerchio still hasn't started his own third.
He hasn't started his own third, but, I mean, does he need to at this point?
His upgrades are so good, too.
Yeah, he's getting in 2-1 against 0-0.
Nerchio can't lose a Roach battle. Because both players are approaching max, and then with the upgrade lead, like, it's just not possible. I don't even think there's, like, an evolution chamber for Bly. Like, he's just kind of stuck.
You know, when you when that upgrade finishes, when you're like, oh yeah, I can move my oh wow, taking fights against Hydras again. I mean, these are trades that are never really favorable. Like losing 2 Mutas for 2 Hydras right there. Never good. Like, this is better where he can pick a few off, but nice focus fire by Nerchio.
Yeah, he's actually getting quite a bit of value out of these individual Hydralisks. That last one not doing quite so much for him, but at this point he's basically saying, I have a really big army. Your army is inferior in upgrades. You don't have the composition you need. I'm just going to come kill you. And Bly's running all of his drones away. He started to build 2 hatcheries in the bottom right, but I don't think it's going to work out to Muslim.
Me neither, Nathanius. Roach speed only just on the way for Bly, so we totally missed that too.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
He's in trouble.
Yeah, and like his army, it's inferior, it's slower. These Mutas don't really do anything. You got Hydras, you got firepower, you got sustainability. Nerchio is absolutely hammering away at Bly here.
Yep, and I think Nerchio should be able to tie this series up. GG. So we're gonna go to game 3, and that you know the most exciting part about that is, the Muslim.
What? That it's not Bly on fire?
No, we're gonna get to see more trash talk between the two of them at the start of game 3.
Okay.
I'm just excited to see us be like, well, it's like what happened to Bly on fire, and he's gonna be like, oh, he's like to save it for game 3 or something weird like that.
I'm just smiling.
You don't BM people like this normally?
I'm Manamule.
Manamule. I don't think there's a Zerg equivalent. There's nothing that gets out there fast enough for Zerg. Like, if you have a probe, like, you normally would have a probe with your army, so it's easy for Protoss to man or Nexus. You can mule anywhere, so it's easy for Terran to man or mule.
I think having, like, /dance on, like, copy and paste is pretty worthwhile if you're a Zerg player.
Yeah, but anybody can do that, though. Like, anybody can just type copy paste. You need to have a probe. I don't know.
I mean, with dance,
looking
like,
at varying
your whole
degrees
army
of
dancing. Like, when you see ultras and lings dancing against you when you're getting absolutely mowed down, you know that's aggravating.
Yeah.
Like, nothing beats the Manamule.
I'm just saying that, like, any big army can do that. Like, but not everyone can man or mule. Anybody can /dance. Like, any race can. But
wait, why can't any, like, because of the Manamule Terran, yeah?
Yeah. Well, it's just like when you look at how people usually BM, like, it's usually a man or Nexus, which, Zergs don't just keep drones. Terrans don't. I guess Terrans occasionally bring SCVs, but building a command center is a bit more complicated.
I did that against Noni one time.
You build a command center in his base?
Like, in the middle of a fight, I just started building command centers on the side.
You're a jerk.
Dude, it's so funny.
That is pretty cruel.
It's like, I played Puck on LAN one time, and this is one of Kane's favorite stories. So, like,
when you drop mules to tilt him.
Well, yeah. But, like, before the game started, like, we were all hanging out for a few days at Red Bull, and he was specifically saying how he hates, like, Manamules and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So the first game of the series...
You like to tell this story a lot, Ben.
I love that story. Kane loves it so much, he laughs every time.
Ben's a monster. We're getting the lobby set up for game number 3.
I think BM's a fun part of the game, Like, when Naniwa beat Nerchio and he wrote XD?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
I have to say, players showing a little bit of personality here and there definitely goes a long way. We're counting down. We're loading into. I don't actually know what the map is. Secret Spring? Did these...
Wow, what a crazy list of maps.
What vetoes did these guys do?
I really love BM, though. Like, do you remember when Cruncher did a smiley face at Hydra?
I don't know if I was alive back then. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. You probably were very young.
Was that in, like, Hammurabi's script? With the eye for an eye, or...
It It was in
Or Hammurabi's Code, my bad.
I think it was in the first Team Liquid thing for yeah, for StarCraft 2.
Yeah, I was still in the esports womb back then.
Yeah, but Cruncher literally smiley faced at Idra, like as he was killing him, and it was like. Then Idra had to play Cruncher at MLG, and like they interviewed Idra like, hey, you can like shake his hand if you want. And Idra just walked off like, and then owned him. It was so good, man.
For some reason, it doesn't surprise me. Trash talk, bro.
Question mark, smiley. Nah.
It's like nah. It's like
you know,
I just win the game.
Bly comes across as a really friendly dude.
Spam too. I just wanted to point that out that he's like breaking 400, doing something. He's trying real hard.
One groovy thing about Nerchio, in CSGO, one groovy thing about Nerchio, he's been using like the same mouse and keyboard, which is like this flat keyboard and this really old school laser mouse. In fact, not laser, it's like optical, I think. But like, I've never seen anybody else use them, but he's like so comfortable about it, like with them. And he holds his mouse very peculiar too, like his thumb's very high on the mouse, if that makes sense.
That's weird.
It is weird, but a very good mechanical player.
You guys heard it here first from Benjamin DeMuslim Baker. Nerchio's weird.
Don't you find players' equipment and setup and how they sit pretty interesting? Or don't you not analyze it that much? Like, you know, when the
wasn't it Scarlet that would like play a bunch of tournament games, like her knee up on the chair, like
maybe.
I don't know. I've seen it a few times.
I've seen a few players do that. Like, there's one famous CS:GO player that was like the best CS 1.6 player called Forrest. He always sits with his knee up, kind of thing, like so he can get closer to the table, or not even close to the table, but like he sits very weird. But you know, Marine Lord. So he has his keyboard, and then he has his mouse pad in front of his keyboard, like that. So his mouse is facing the left.
No one on stream can see that, but
well, like, okay, so the keyboard's forward, like in a normal position, right? And then the mouse pad's in front of the keyboard. So the mouse totally faces left, and he plays like that, and he's turning into like one of the best Europeans.
Weird. He basically plays StarCraft via he like plays Tetris.
Like sideways.
Yeah, he like plays Tetris with his mouse pad and keyboard.
Yeah, and like, you know, when I first watched him play, I was like, what kind of moron plays like that? And then he 4-0'd me. I was like, that kind of moron. Like a really good moron. So like, yeah, I find that kind of thing very interesting.
Today I learned.
Bly also plays weird.
Well, I mean, you didn't have to tell me that.
I didn't. I mean, it's on his Twitter, I think. Like, he sits very, very close.
Ah, to like where? Oh, you mean like that? Yeah.
And his keyboard's at a very weird angle. But like,
man,
you look tired, Nathan.
Everybody's got their own way of doing things. Nerchio building a spine crawler on this map without a creep tumor to take the front of his main ramp. That's quite tricky. Bailey Nest is finishing up for Bly though, but I don't. Is he gonna extra Maceling of this?
I think
this should be the worst map to try this on. Don't you think? Maybe Vonnie's a bit worse. The rush distance is kind of non-existent.
I think he's specifically doing this because getting anything to this ramp to wall in, like 2 queens and such, it's very hard to do. So, like, he's going to have speed.
Is he just going to get a Roach Horn, too? Is he going to do the same thing again?
I think he's just going to go Ling Bane all in, then.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
And, yeah, here we are. We have Banelings morphing. I think Nerchio's in a lot of trouble. Despite having 2 spine crawlers up, it's a lot of distance between both the bases here.
Yeah, got a little bit of love in on that spine crawler, but he's mostly focused on the main base. Oh, that queen!
Oh, the queen!
He isolates the queen on the ramp. That's problematic. Okay,
oh.
He's pushed back. I thought he could have tried to commit, but okay. I won't question him.
Retreating to the
7 more Banelings.
Wow, so he's really super committing. And here, Nerchio's just making lots of queens. He's got 2 spines, 1 in each base.
Well, with this many Banes, without a Baneling nest or speed of his own, like, what can Nerchio actually do? Well, I mean, I guess if you can trade 1 for 1 like that, then I guess then it's pretty easy hold. But it shouldn't be that easy.
I mean, what are these Banelings going to blow up on? Like,
he gets the drones and the spine. Well, that's what they'll blow up on, mate. That was dirty.
The queen on the right side was doing nothing in that engagement.
He's going for the mineral line. Now, keep in mind, Bly is only down to 1 drone, but yeah, he's going to lose more. He should lose more.
Really nice splitting by Nerchio there, though. Wow.
He didn't lose any more.
No, he didn't lose any more. And like the spine crawler's still alive there, so that was a little ambitious by Bly to chase down those drones, whereas he could have just blown up the spine crawler, I believe, which would have been probably a pretty good trade, but here he knows his opponent's
I like that he doesn't want him to be able to wall off. Like he wants to keep baiting him around with these speedlings, but unfortunately the queens did move to the ramp, so they're holding away the reinforcements. He still has the spine crawler in the natural mineral line.
Look how confident Nerchio is here. So he's like, okay, I'm going to wall off that ramp here with these queens, and I'm going to drone up behind this. And here, these queens, especially with the spine joining the fray too, like, going to be sufficient damage to deal against just pure Ling at the front. So what's Bly going to do? Look how much gas Bly has. He has 200-ish gas.
He's just going to make another great thing of Banelings and just try to crack open the queen wall? I'm not even sure.
I think he needs to whip guys off gas now and start trying to play. I mean, oh, can he come back in a macro game here? I don't think so. Oh, going to lose an Overlord too, possibly. Oh.
Yeah, that's really frustrating.
He's got to transfuse for that queen. Oh, didn't use it.
Okay, well, those are the kinds of plays that Bly needs from his opponent. Keep in mind, Bly still hasn't built an expansion, so he is, for all intents and purposes,
wow, both of these guys making a few little errors here. Nerchio loses an Overlord in the main base of Bly.
Oh, Bly's going to try to expand now.
Did get to keep tabs on that gas, though, of his opponent, so he does know that his opponent could be capable of making a lot of Banelings sometime soon. Let's see.
It's a lot of gas. Like maybe he tries to go up to Lair and get an evolution chamber, go for a quick +1 for his roaches.
Evo chamber going down for Bly.
That's all I can think of. Where's the Lair? Bly. Oh, he's building a queen. That's why he doesn't have a Lair yet.
I believe roaches are going to be Bly's unit of choice here with that Evo, but ugh.
Do you think he just gets +1 and then starts his roach horn, or does he get Lair first?
Tough call, man.
He's cheesy enough to do it without roach speed. This map is short enough for him to do it without roach speed.
So second queen's popped now.
Here we go. Where's the lair? Is he going to get a lair? Is he even going to go for it? +1
plus
attack.
one.
And he's starting +1 attack for the lair. Says what
he's got. Oh, the Banelings, the Banelings. They blew up all those lings there. Oh, nasty.
Yeah, nice little trade there. Bly's still behind in drones, though, and Nerchio's been able to spread his drones out across 2 bases. These lings shouldn't be able to do too much.
Good creep spread by Nerchio, too. I mean, he's starting to get it out there on the map. Can start hunting down Overlords with his queens soon, too, once he gets a few roaches on the field. But, you know, top priority for Nerchio here is just to stay alive and keep his economic lead, which he knows he has. That natural was very late for Bly. I believe he saw that. He saw how late it was going to be just because his Overlord stuck around in that main base for so long. And right now, he's just got his Spike Roll at the top of the ramp. He's got these queens stocking up transfuse energy, I suppose, just to keep each other alive. And, yeah, he's doing everything right. He's got his 3rd gas. One thing that he could be doing is getting an upgrade because those things mean so much in Roach Mirror Wars. But, ultimately...
This lair could actually end up hurting Nerchio if Bly just... Because he's going to have the roach upgrade advantage. I don't think he can have as many roaches. Because his lair is so late. Like, he won't be able to have roach speed ahead. But he can have +1 ahead before roach speed is done. So, like, there's this weird timing where he has better roaches. But I think the economy for Nerchio was just too good. Nidus!
Whoa. Okay.
I'm okay with this.
You know, I don't usually see kind of... I'm going to use the word cheesy play out of Nerchio. Like, I expected, in fact, Bly was the cheesier player of the two in this series. He went like Ling speed, 1 base, Baneling all in and such. But yeah, this Nidus here, I like this. It's an urgent way of saying, hey, I need to win. If I have an advantage, if I can take this advantage straight to my opponent's base with a Nidus, then awesome.
Yeah. The Nidus doesn't even need to be secretive. Like if he plants it behind his army or just outside the base, then he can try. But these Lings are going to hold the position.
Wait,
hold in position. These roaches of Nerchio and.
He didn't even get roach speed, Nerchio didn't.
No, that hurts. I mean, there's still no roach speed for Bly, but Bly has that +1 attack upgrade advantage, so he should win any straight-up fight involving just roach versus roach. As long as the numbers are close.
Oh man, getting +2 and roach speed.
That's starting to slowly look good for Bly, but here comes the Nidus. It's not...
Oh,
like
not
I
in the
said,
main base.
It's not in the base. He's just trying to use it as a reinforcement point.
I'm starting to like this for Bly, Nathanius.
You know, Nerchio could try to break down the rocks and then use the Nidus, but I don't know. That's like the craziest theory I can think of.
I mean, Bly is quickly going to go... he sees this very quickly. There are queens here with transfuse energy, but just following... Oh, man. This looks good for Bly.
Yeah.
He takes down all those
He
queens with full
focuses
energy.
the queens, yeah, exactly, with so much energy they can't transfuse. His roaches have the upgrade advantage. That Overlord so slow will force these roaches to go up the choke point. Extra free hits for Bly, and he's actually swallowing Nerchio's army whole.
Man, Nerchio, like, from being in a very, very good situation, he kind of threw this away against
Oh
Bly.
man, and these queens are still grossly overextended. Like he can kill all
GG.
these. GG.
Bly takes out Nerchio.
Hashtag blind fire.
Hashtag Bly on fire.